Hey, this is Evan Markatz, dating and relationship coach for smart, strong, successful women, your personal trainer for love. Welcome back to my workshop, Be the CEO of Your Love Life, high value dating for high value women. I don't like to place values on people. This is just terms that other people use on the internet, but we're talking about a certain caliber of person who demands a certain caliber of person. And we spent the past two videos talking about the foundations of confident dating, how to take charge of your love life, how to filter men quickly, how to operate from a place of confidence and abundance, how to stop wasting time on the wrong men who aren't serious about you. Today, we're going to be talking about what happens when all this work leads to a tangible outcome when you finally meet the right guy. Because it's not just about choosing a good man, it's about creating a relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. So, safe, heard, and understood. Safe, heard, and understood came from a conversation I had with a client about 15 years ago. It wasn't like a thing that I was looking for. It was a woman describing to me what it was like to pass up on a guy. She was passing up on a guy who was seeing her for 6 months. And I remember her telling me the story about how she was she was trying to get rid of this guy because he didn't look like the picture of the man she was looking for. She's in her 60s, so she'd been around the block. She'd had multiple alpha male husbands, and she's got this guy. And I remember he says to her, um, I really want to come to church with you. He wasn't a religious guy. I want to come to church with you to understand why this has such great meaning for you. And something just dropped in her that realized in her entire life, in her 60s, she'd never had a husband who cared that much about her as an individual, right? And it was in that moment that I literally made up the terms. Yes, this man makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. And she started to cry. And that's when I was like, oh, this is actually something. So it's something I say on my website, in all my podcasts, the importance of feeling safe, heard, and understood in a relationship. Not just momentarily, not just one of the three things, all of them consistently over time. So when I talk to women and they go online, they tell me what they're looking for. I want someone I'm attracted to. I want someone who's successful. I want someone who makes me laugh. These are all great. I'm not anti-laughter, money, attraction. The single most important thing that you could have, the baseline of every relationship. How do you feel when you're with him? How do you feel when you're not with him? Because if you don't feel safe, heard, and understood, it does not matter how amazing he is. He could be a Rhodes Scholar, a tantric sex master, a self-made millionaire, a top chef, a triathlete. Does not matter if you don't feel safe, heard, and understood. So I've got a client named Stephanie. Met a guy who checked all the boxes, handsome, successful, kind of guy who turns heads when he walks into a room. Not a gift that I have. But after a few months, she started to notice something about her gorgeous boyfriend. She never felt secure with him. She was constantly wondering if and when he was going to call. She was afraid to reach out to him on her own, afraid to bring up serious topics because she didn't want to push him away, didn't want to puncture the illusion that they were going to last forever. So she was trying to be the cool girl. So she's walking on eggshells, trying to be low maintenance, all under the guise of keeping his interest. And it took her a long time to realize that this isn't the hallmark of a healthy relationship, right? This woman couldn't relax, couldn't let down her guard, couldn't breathe easy. But boy, she's got an impressive guy to parade around. So if you're not safe, heard, and understood, you're kind of permanently auditioning for a job. You're permanently making yourself the intern, and you can never just relax and be yourself. So the three pillars of a healthy relationship, the ones that determine whether you're with the right guy, are safe, heard, and understood. And let's talk about those things individually. So pillar number one, safe. Love should feel secure, not anxious. When you're in a healthy relationship, you never have to wonder if a guy is interested in you. You don't have to analyze every single text to find out what it really means. You don't have to worry about when you're going to see him. The right man, by definition, makes you feel safe. Now, we talked about this in a previous video about high value men. They are emotionally intelligent. They don't let their moods dictate how they treat you, right? It's not that every guy is perfect at all times. I'm certainly not perfect at all times, but uh, guy who is emotionally intelligent, if he makes a mistake, he's going to apologize. He's going to take ownership. He's not going to lash out. He's not going to withdraw. He's not going to threaten to break up with you. He's not going to create unnecessary drama. He's going to be consistent. He's going to be dependable. Right? He shows up when he says he's going to show up. He follows through on his commitments. You're not constantly second guessing him or your place within his world. And he is a man of his word. You don't have to wonder if what he's saying is just talk because his words match his deeds. Right? And it's not terribly complicated. Part of the reason that women feel so insecure in relationships is because they choose men who are ambivalent about them. So if the men are ambivalent about you, they send you mixed messages. It's not that they're master manipulators or evil people, but they're sending you mixed messages. How could you be in a relationship where you're sending mixed messages? It would be like going to a job every day and wondering every day if you're going to be fired. That is not a model for success. So pay attention to these red flags. If your relationship feels like a constant guessing game, if you're more anxious than you are at peace, if you're walking on eggshells or afraid to bring up any topic of conversation with supposedly the most important person in your life who loves you and accepts you, this is not a safe relationship. Pillar number two, feeling heard. Now, communication should feel easy, not exhausting. And that for a lot of people is a foreign concept, right? Easy communication, feeling heard. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a dating coach, but I don't think I'm some sort of unicorn. 95% of my communication with my wife, we agree, or we agree to disagree, or we find a way. It doesn't blow up. There's things that we're never going to agree on that we negotiate, we roll our eyes, we compromise. That's every married couple. But it's like 95% easy and agreeable and sort of 5% negotiable. So healthy couples don't have to avoid difficult conversations. They actually lean into them. They understand each other. It makes them stronger. And the right man, we're going through our bullet points, listens with intent. He values your thoughts and feelings, even when they're different from his own. He doesn't blow up at you because you think differently. You don't want a black and white thinker. He doesn't dismiss your emotions. You might not understand or agree with all of your emotions, but he's not dismissive of your emotions. The right guy doesn't want to make you upset. He doesn't want to make you cry. He doesn't tell you you're overthinking this or it's not a big deal. He respects that what matters to you actually matters to you. And he wants to work with you, not against you. He's your teammate. Good guys want to make their partners happy, right? And if he's not putting your happiness first, you have to ask, is this guy actually a good partner? Doesn't matter if he's a good businessman, doesn't matter if he's a good father. Is he a good partner to you if you feel like he's emotionally working against you and is dismissive of your arguments? So we need a partner who respects your opinions, validates your point of view, doesn't see compromise as a bad word, sees the world in shades of gray, and doesn't always insist that he's right just because he asserts that he's right. Right? Again, my superpower as a husband is not that I'm more right than any other guy. It's that when I'm wrong, I apologize really quickly, like seconds later. Right? There's no slam doors, no silent treatments, no power struggles. Honey, I'm sorry. Sorry I flew off the handle. Sorry I put my foot in my mouth. Let's reset. How are we going to fix this? That is the hallmark of healthy communication, and you need a partner who can do that. So red flag alert. If you have a partner where you have to repeat yourself over and over, if he gets defensive and shuts down every time you bring up an issue, if you feel like you're the only one trying to fix your relationship and trying to iron out problems, this is not a relationship where you feel heard. Pillar number three, feeling understood. True compatibility is about emotional alignment. So I get chemistry. Chemistry is a wonderful feeling. It is the highest feeling in the world. I think back to some of the times I felt chemistry and walking on air and feeling like I was the lead character in a movie. And every single person I felt that giddy chemistry with either rejected me or dated me and then dumped me. Every single one that I had that tingly, oh my God, you just know they're my soulmate feeling. So that shows you, not that chemistry is a bad feeling, but that it's a pretty inaccurate predictor of your future. So we're not giving up on chemistry. Chemistry is a great place to start. But real relationships are about emotional compatibility. That's what I talk about when we're talking about feeling understood, right? You want a guy who's got a clear vision for his future. He's not just sort of drifting through life. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I want to go with my career. I don't know if I ever want to get in a relationship. Those guys are maddening because they seem like good partners, but their lack of direction, their lack of conviction towards anything, towards themselves or towards you, is always going to leave you wanting more. A guy who's emotionally compatible with you is going to respect your values. Right? He's going to say, hey, we're different people. We have differences of opinion, but he's going to make space for that. He's going to validate that and he's going to work around that because that's what partners have to do. If you're going to be in a long-term relationship, you have to accommodate the differences in your partner. And he wants to make you feel seen. Right? A lot of these guys that women are attracted to, they act like they are the sun and that you're a mere planet revolving around them. You need a guy who makes you feel like the sun, that he puts you first, your emotional needs. And it's not that he's weak or he's needy, it's that he prioritizes your happiness. He's not just hearing your words and nodding his head and then going doing his own thing. He acknowledges the emotions behind them and he prioritizes making peace, making sure you get your way, and the value of compromise. So these shared goals, this emotional alignment really does matter because you could talk about two people who are practicing Catholics or two people who are competitive downhill skiers or two people who love EDM festivals, right? And two people who have the best sex of their life. And none of that is going to equal a successful long-term relationship if you don't want the same things, if you don't speak the same emotional language, right? And if this guy doesn't see your relationship as the highest priority in his life, right? Because relationships, really healthy marriages, come before everything. You don't have to convince a guy that that's the case. The right guy sees that as the case, knows that relationships are foundational to your happiness. So your action step right now, your CEO performance review, right? That's what we're going to do. It sounds a little technocratic, but I want you to be the CEO of your love life. I want you to take your power back. I want you to assess your employees' performance. So I want you, not right now, but on a little piece of paper when we're done, list your last two or three serious relationships, or maybe the most impactful dating experiences that you had. For each of those two or three guys, ask yourself, did I feel safe or was I anxious and uncertain? Did I feel heard or did I have to fight to get my needs acknowledged? Did I feel understood or did I feel like I had to constantly justify or explain myself? The key, remember, is not whether you ever felt momentarily safe, heard, or understood, because of course you did. That's how you got into a relationship. The guy was a good guy for the first couple months, or there was moments throughout your 20-year marriage, right? Little glimmers. But we're talking about consistently, right? Simultaneously, consistently, safe, heard, and understood. So if you had to give that relationship, those three relationships, a rating based on safe, heard, and understood, right? A, B, C, D, F. What would you rate those relationships on a safe, heard, understood scale? Okay. Now, big question. Would you rehire that guy for a relationship if it was an employee? Or maybe did this experience teach you what you never want to experience again? If your past relationships get subpar grades, right? C's, D's, F's, it's not a failure. It's a lesson. It's a lesson that's going to help you make better choices moving forward. I'm excited for you. I hope you can feel it. You're making better choices. You're letting this information wash over you. Tomorrow is our final video of this little workshop, and it's our most important video yet. And I really want you to tune in because while recognizing these red flags, raising your standards is great. What changes your love life is taking action. So in our fourth video of this series, I'm going to show you exactly how to apply what you've learned here so that you could start attracting the love of your life, high value men, commitment oriented men, communication oriented men. You could have the life that you deserve. It's not a mystery, right? You just have to make different choices than you did in your past. You know what you've done in the past hasn't worked. Now it's time to turn the page and move forward. So for now, drop a comment below. Let me know. Have you ever had a guy get an A for making you feel safe, heard, and understood? And if not, Doesn't that radically reframe your entire past and all the pain that you felt in those relationships, that wishful thinking that you had? Turns out that virtually none of your previous partners were actually compatible with you, no matter how much you loved them, no matter how much you wanted it to be so. So if you've never had a history of choosing the right man before, your next step is to learn how to do so. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there. Bye bye.